Well, hey everybody, good evening. My name is Trisha Bart. I'm a gold leader with Young Living, and the beautiful Stacy Conklin has joined me this evening. And we're going to be talking about sensational holiday cooking. Now, I know some of you thought I was actually going to be in my kitchen cooking tonight, and I don't know, maybe I could audition for HGTV's next Cooking Star, I don't know, or Cooking Channel's next Cooking Star, but I just thought it'd be a little too distracting trying to figure out how to cook and hold the camera and do all that. So I thought I'd share some of my favorite holiday recipes with you and some tips on using essential oils in cooking. I don't know, Stacy, have you used essential oils in cooking yet?
I have not.
You have not. Okay.
But I want to.
Is it kind of that you're a little afraid of it, or what's been holding you back?
Recipes.
Okay, recipes. Do you like to use your oils internally? Do you take some internally?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully after tonight's conversation, you'll get a little more brave. We'll give you some ideas on how to use your essential oils in cooking and how to use them internally. So you know me, guys, I got a little PowerPoint, of course. So let me just pop that up, and it'll give us some more thoughts on using essential oils for cooking. And all of these recipes are available out on my OneDrive, and I will post a link. This webinar will be available to you, but I'll also post a link so you can just grab the recipe cards if you'd like to. What I've personally found, so let's talk a little bit about essential oils. We got to give you the background first, right? So essential oils come from plants. They're very highly concentrated aromatic liquids. So here's the interesting thing. When we think about our spices and herbs, that flavor that we get from them is actually the essential oil. So the cool thing about using essential oils is that we get all that flavor. Frankly, it's a lot less expensive because your little bottle of Vitality essential oil costs you $8, $9, $10, maybe $12. But this is going to last forever, and you use maybe a drop instead of a teaspoon or a tablespoon at a time. The essential oils will last for quite a long time on your shelf. If your kitchen tends to get hot, maybe you're going to want to move them into the refrigerator, but that's really not necessary with your essential oils. As long as you keep the cap on and keep them out of direct sunlight and in a, let's say under 80-degree temperature, they're going to do just fine. So essential oils have been used in the cosmetic industry for a long, long time, but they've also been used in the food industry for a long, long time. I'm sure, you probably had Red Hots or the striped peppermint candies. Well, those have essential oils in them. They have an industrial food grade essential oil in them. But how stunning to bring our beautiful essential oils to your table. And what a lovely thing to do for people that you care about. So essential oils are primarily extracted through steam distillation from the plant material. So we get all of that beautiful flavor and just leave behind like the cellulose, the fiber of the plant. Young Living is the only company that I know of that brings you a seed to seal guarantee, meaning that the seed that goes into the ground is the correct species. And then they watch that process all the way through cultivation, distillation. They test every batch rigorously. And then finally the seal. And that's a very distinctive seal. Young Living has kind of a jagged tooth-like grip on their caps there. So, one of the challenges we've seen is finding what looks like a Young Living essential oil on Amazon or at Walmart. And believe me, those are not Young Living essential oils. The only way to get them is directly from Young Living. So let's talk about our Vitality line of essential oils and how this all came to be. So you see there a bottle of lemon essential oil with a yellow label on the left, and there's a little line that says aromatic and topical. And on the right, you see the white Vitality label, and it says internal use. So a few years ago, Young Living decided to make it much easier for our government to understand how we use essential oils. And so they decided to label a line of essential oils specifically for internal use, because the government was like, well, we understand using it topically and aromatically, we understand using it internally, but we don't understand having one product that people want to use all three ways. So it's exactly the same oil in both bottles, all right? So that's lemon essential oil in both of those bottles, but one has been labeled for aromatic and topical use, and one has been labeled for internal use. When we talk about topical and aromatic, it's about comforting and soothing the body. We use those in our diffusers. You might want to dilute it with a carrier oil and apply it topically wherever you'd like. The vitality oils labeled for internal use support our body systems. So lemon essential oil is great for supporting a natural, healthy pH balance in the system, great for supporting digestion. So I like to put a couple of drops of lemon vitality oil in warm water every morning. It's the first thing in my belly. I love how it makes me feel. It also makes a beautiful tea. Lemon essential oil, the vitality oil, is beautiful to add to maybe your favorite lemonade recipe to just brighten the flavors up a bit. So don't let this confuse you. If you have older bottles from Young Living that maybe have a label that looks like this, this is a bottle of Copaiba essential oil, which is available both with the kind of tan label and with the white vitality label. But if you have an older bottle, you can peel that label back, and I'm going to hold this really close to my camera so you can see it. There is a nutritional label on this old bottle. This old bottle was labeled for all 3 uses. And, you know, just because Young Living chose to split things up doesn't mean that you suddenly can't use this essential oil internally. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go on and talk a little bit about using our vitality oils. This is just an idea. If you have a friend that loves to cook, here's a great way to help them get started with Young Living. Get them a wholesale membership with that basic starter kit, and then buy them some of our beautiful vitality oils. This combination of cinnamon bark, dill, thyme, rosemary, orange, basil, lime, and 2 of the einkorn products will run you about $102. So the whole thing is under $150. So if you have a favorite chef on your holiday list, what a great way to share the joy of essential oils with them. And let's just take a second to talk about einkorn. Young Living has, my gosh, a really pretty complete line of food products for us as well. We've got Pure Protein Complete, we've got Balance Complete. Both of those make delicious smoothies. You can also use them in your baking. The einkorn products, so we have a gluten-free pancake and biscuit mix. We have the einkorn pancake and waffle mix. We have einkorn flour. Einkorn flour can be used pretty much 1-to-1 in exchange for traditional flours. So what is einkorn? Einkorn is one of the oldest grains. It's considered an ancient grain. And why is it called that? Because it's stayed the same over centuries. It's never been hybridized. You know, it's never been bred to be more hardy. And so what that means is it has the correct number of chromosomes, it has beautiful enzymes, it has 4 times more beta carotene and lutein than traditional flours, so those are great for eyes. 2 times the vitamin A, higher protein, more vitamin B6, 5 times more riboflavin. So it is very nutritious. It also has less gluten in it. And what we find is our bodies seem to digest einkorn a whole lot better than the hybridized wheats that are generally available on the market. I know for me personally, I don't have a digestive disease. I do feel better when I don't eat as much gluten. I find that I do really well with the einkorn products. My body responds to them really well. I don't have any challenges with them. And the thing that I really love about some of the products, you know, we love the spaghetti. We love using the pancake mix. And my favorite compliment about the pancake mix from my mom is they taste like pancakes. So, you know, if you could do something great for your family's health and have them not even notice that it's something healthier for them, how great is that? So just a little thought on using the einkorn flour. And this, I'm going to just read a little bit here from the Young Living cookbook. There's actually a cookbook chock full of recipes called From Our Fields to Your Table. There's a new edition, so it has a slightly different cover, and maybe it's got some different recipes in it. But here are some thoughts. You can use the einkorn flour 1-to-1 for muffins, pancakes, cakes, cookie recipes, so any of those kind of quick breads as well. You might want to reduce the liquid in your recipe by as much as 20%. Because it's lower in gluten, it doesn't absorb moisture the same way. In a cake recipe, you may want to add an extra egg white to your batter so that it rises the way you would expect it to. And in here it says, resist the temptation to add too much einkorn flour to bread dough. So it's going to absorb the liquid a little more slowly if you're making a yeasted bread dough. Just stick with your 1-to-1, the same amount that you would use of a traditional flour, and just give it a little longer time to rise. And it may be a little wetter and stickier at first, but it will absorb that liquid and do just fine. Avoid over kneading it as well, because it has less gluten. It's not going to need as much kneading as other breads. So those are just some thoughts for you on the einkorn products. I encourage you to give them a try. My family loves them, and I think you will as well. I just had to pull this little image up. So the holiday catalog has some goodies that are really only available during the holiday season. And this is one that I look forward to every year. Stacy, have you ever tried the Chocolessence product? Oh my goodness, you're gonna love it if you like chocolate. These are,
I do.
yeah, right? Who doesn't? Well, I take that back. I know there are people who don't, but I love chocolate. So these chocolate bars come in 3 flavors. There is a cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. Yes, that's our essential oils in there. There is a tangerine ginger. Oh my gosh, so delicious. And a peppermint with almonds in it. So just be mindful that that one does have nuts in it if you have someone in your family that has a challenge with nuts. You can get them separately, individually, or you can buy a combination of 9 bars, so 3 of each of them together. These are so incredibly delicious, but what makes them really special is the Ecuadorian dark chocolate. This chocolate is processed differently from commercially available chocolate. So have you ever heard of chocolate having antioxidant properties?
Yes.
Yeah, so we hear that chocolate's good for us. Well, unfortunately, most commercially available chocolate is baked at such a high temperature that it just destroys all of the health benefits. The Ecuadorian dark chocolate is processed differently. It is dried at a much lower temperature using a different process. So it actually does have antioxidant properties as well. So how wonderful to get a treat that's actually good for you too. And what I personally find with the chocolate from Young Living is that I feel satisfied with just a square or 2 of it, as opposed to most traditional chocolate bars where you just kind of snarf the whole thing down. This is so rich, you know, just letting it melt in your mouth. Oh my gosh, I have to place my order. I'm making myself crazy over here. This is another one of the holiday gifts. How beautiful is this for the tea lover in your family? Give them a different kind of treat with the cinnamon bark vitality, clove vitality, lemon vitality in a double wall travel tumbler. So this is a reminder when you're cooking with your essential oils, you want to stick with stainless steel, titanium, glass, ceramic. Pyrex is also really safe. And especially when you're saving your leftovers, be sure you're not saving them in plastic containers. And that's just a good all-around health tip for you. Avoid plastic wrap, avoid plastic containers. All right, so this guy is out of stock right now. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be back in for the holidays, but this einkorn granola, this one is kind of dangerous for me. I almost can't buy it because this one I do eat, like the whole bag that is sitting. It is so delicious. But this is a holiday treat that comes with 2 Young Living bowls. You can kind of see the logo on there. It's a little faint. I think it's probably more prominent in person. But look at those gorgeous cereal bowls for all year round enjoying your einkorn granola. And what a special way to start the day after a holiday. I wanted to remind you about the promo from Young Living this month. 190 PV will get you a 15 mil tea tree, a 5 mil Christmas spirit. 250, they're going to add that beautiful glass Christmas tree ornament. So just a reminder, it is glass. So if you have animals or littles in your house, put a little higher up on the tree, and it's open at the top. You just put a couple of drops of your essential oil in the bottle, and those scent sticks will absorb the oil and help fragrance your tree and your room. It will blast through oil kind of quickly, so just use a couple drops at a time. Let's see, and then, you'll also add a 15 milliliter pine and a 15 milliliter eucalyptus radiata. Wow, eucalyptus, great oil to have around during the holiday season. In your diffuser, love it, love it, love it. And then at the 300 PV, a 15 mil frankincense. Enough said, people. So frankincense makes this whole offer worthwhile. So here is a great way to welcome your guests at a holiday party. Maybe make a little get together a little more special by making a holiday cider. This is sometimes also called wassail, which is a holiday word meaning good health. I mean, an English word meaning good health to you. And it's so simple. Just get some apple cider or apple juice if you can't find apple cider, some pineapple juice, and add clove, cinnamon, and tangerine vitality oils. Now you might be saying, wow, that's a lot of those oils. I personally find that when you add the vitality oils to a liquid like a drink, it really does not overpower. You heat it up so that the oils are going to evaporate a little bit that way as well. So let's talk a little bit about cooking with essential oils. Let me just share a couple of tips with you, a couple of do's and don'ts. So you want to store your essential oils in the dark glass containers, those amber bottles, in a cool place. And if you need to, if your kitchen's warm, like I said earlier, you may want to refrigerate them, but that's really not necessary. As you start to play with cooking with your essential oils, you may have already noticed this from using them topically, but each oil has a slightly different viscosity. Some of them just come out of the bottle so fast. Some of them are a little sluggy coming out. Just has to do with the viscosity of the oil. So you're going to want to practice, because using your oils in cooking, a drop versus 2 drops is a very big difference. Keep the lids on as much as possible while you're cooking. You don't want to just leave them sitting open in your kitchen while you're cooking. Be careful on the drops of the essential oil. So you're going to want to practice. If you're not really certain, you can drop them onto a spoon before you put it into your recipe. Sometimes, if you want to keep, here we go. If you want to keep the flavor vibrant, you'll want to add the essential oils a little later in the cooking process. So if you're making a gravy or a stew or a sauce, you'll want to put the drops of essential oil in a little later so that you're not just cooking them off. So you'll find recipes that get baked, like a quick bread or maybe roasted vegetables with some essential oil. You'll probably use a few more drops of oil than if you put it into your sauce. When it comes to sauces, generally what I do is I have a little ceramic bowl or a little bowl from my plates, and I'll put a drop of whatever oil I want to add to my sauce. Sometimes if it's like an Italian spaghetti sauce, you might want to add some basil, oregano, put a drop or 2 in that bowl, and then use a toothpick. That's your friend when it comes to putting essential oils into your sauces. Put a toothpick into that and then drag that through your sauce. And then you can control the flavor of your sauce. And speaking of adding to Italian flavors, there is a blend called Taste of Italy. I think it's still available. This was created before the whole label change, so you see it doesn't have the vitality label, but it is labeled for internal use. And this is all those goodies that you're going to want to put into your favorite Italian sauce. And that way you can just put 1 drop in and get all of those flavors. It's already mixed up for you. So that's Taste of Italy. And I'm going to, Heather, I'm going to go ahead and mute you because we've got some family talking in the background there. Let me see if I have some couple of other thoughts for you. Oh, generally, if you're cooking something on the stove and you're adding oils to it, you want to use just a slightly lower temperature. We don't want to heat the essential oils past their flash point. It changes the chemistry of them. So just cook on a slightly lower temperature. And that's pretty much the thoughts on that. Oh, so here are some substitution thoughts for you. Let me move on to our next recipe so you can see. Oh, Oh, so everybody likes a holiday cheese ball, right? Come on. Even if you don't really like cheese, everybody likes a holiday cheese ball. But how nice to create your own that's not loaded with dyes. Look at that. Yeah, that looks good, right? So you just put it in a blender, sharp cheese, Colby cheese, some cream cheese, a little bit of chives. You hold on to the pecans for rolling the cheese ball in it at the end. And this uses marjoram, sage, and black pepper vitality essential oil. So it makes 2 cheese balls. So this is a great recipe for holiday entertaining. You can keep one in the freezer if you need to. And we've made this recipe, love it. It's just so delicious. And here, okay, so first course, maybe you want to start with a butternut squash soup. This is also great for a luncheon before or after a holiday. It's just warming through and through. This is a great recipe. Now, I also have another recipe for a squash soup that just uses roasted butternut squash, and you puree that. You add a little hot water to it, and it calls for ginger vitality oil. Cinnamon, clove, ginger, nutmeg are all those wonderful holiday spices flavors that we love. All of them would work in a butternut squash soup. And that other recipe I was mentioning, you just use one of those immersion blenders to puree the butternut squash in your pan, warm it up. And so it doesn't have any cream in it. If you are avoiding dairy, it's just absolutely delicious, a real family favorite. So here's a thought. When using Young Living essential oils for cooking, think of it this way. When essential oils are put in water, the flavor will be brought out. So give more strength and keep a little bit of the bitterness. So for instance, if you put orange essential oil in your water, you might taste a little bit of bitterness. If you mix it into almond oil, a carrier oil, it's going to smooth out the flavor and bring out the sweetness. So that's another thing to keep in mind with your cooking with essential oils. Here's a beautiful homemade cranberry sauce. This one uses orange, lime, and lemon vitality essential oil. Have you ever made your own cranberry sauce? No, right? Most of us get it out of a can, right? It's a jellied and solid, or you get the whole berry one. I started making my own cranberry sauce, gosh, probably 7, 8 years ago. And I was blown away by how easy it is to make. I mean, literally, you wash the cranberries and put them in some water and cook them. And they do this beautiful thing. They kind of cook down and they jelly up. Yeah, you do need to add some sugar to it. This calls for maple syrup. There's another recipe in the Young Living cookbook that calls for agave, the Young Living agave. And then you can season it however you like. This sounds so cool to me, orange, lime, and lemon. I usually use orange and cinnamon in my cranberry sauce. It gives it a really traditional flavor. So simple to make, great to make ahead. You can make it ahead a couple of days and put it in the fridge so it's all set to go when you're ready to serve your guests. So adding lemon to your vegetables is so awesome. I just cooked up some asparagus the other night and made up some lemon butter. And when you're using your lemon vitality essential oil, 2 to 3 drops. When it comes to your citrus oils, if you're looking to replace the zest or juice of a lemon, a lime, a grapefruit, it's about 10 to 15 drops of your essential oil. So the way I like to do this, I would mix up my butter separately, put my essential oil in it, and give it a taste before I put it over my vegetables. But what a lovely way to brighten up your green beans. I know we love to do a green bean casserole for Thanksgiving, but this is a really tasty thing that you can do any time of the year. Who doesn't like mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving? Well, here's a way to brighten them up a little bit. Add some garlic powder, some rosemary, and black pepper vitality essential oil. And I'm not expecting you to write down these recipes. This is all going to be available later. Here is a yummy sweet potato casserole. And Stacy and I were talking about sweet potatoes before. Stacy, you could still add the marshmallows to this one. But think about swapping out the dry spices and putting in some lemon and cinnamon vitality oil into the recipe. So yummy. So I'm going to, let me take off the share for a second. I'm going to tell a little tale on myself. We were having so much fun in the Facebook event, the event page for this get together tonight with a little, what does your spice rack look like? Yeah, mine is a total disaster. I've got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I do my best to find organic spices whenever I can. But how often do you buy fresh spices? I only swapped things out because I moved. I just threw everything away because I knew it was all pretty old. So, every time it comes around to the holiday baking, I'm like, when did I buy that cinnamon? I can't remember. And then you go out and buy fresh, and then you got all fresh for your baked goods for the season, and they taste delicious. But then, it's like a whole nother year, and you've used this much. So that's one thing I really, really love about using essential oils in the kitchen. They don't go bad. You can keep them on your shelf, and they'll be fresh when you go to reach for them, whether it's every day or every month or not even until the next holiday season. So I won't make anybody fess up if they do the same thing with their spices and just wait until they need it to buy it. Okay, let's go back to, this didn't save where I was. Let me go back to where I was in just 1 second. Green beans. Oh, okay, here we are. Okay, there's our sweet potato casserole. Here's a lovely recipe for cornbread dressing. Now, my family, we use my mom's from New England, traditional bread stuffing. We don't use cornbread. But this sounds delicious to me. So we have sage, thyme, rosemary. So all of those things from that old song, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Well, that's poultry seasoning. Those are ingredients in the poultry seasoning. And it's a beautiful way to flavor your stuffing for the holidays. How lovely that you can just grab your essential oils and use your vitality oils for that dressing. And some families have a ham, a turkey, have the pasta. So if your family loves a glazed ham for the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, whenever you enjoy a ham, you can pull out this beautiful, simple recipe. It uses a little bit of honey, maple syrup, orange juice. And the wonderful thing about doing this is that that you're putting the finest ingredients on the table for your family. Sometimes we need shortcuts, but this is so simple to just whip together and pour it over the top of your ham. Let's see, it goes in right at the beginning. You pour it on right at the beginning. Now, a turkey injection sauce. This is very popular. It's a way to keep your turkey moist while it's roasting. I should knock on wood because we've had very good luck with turkeys over the years, not getting too dried out. But what a wonderful way to add some flavor to your turkey. Again, oregano, thyme, lemon, black pepper, vitality essential oils. And you do need an injector for this. This is a hypodermic needle. I don't know, those of you in the medical world may have one of those lying around the house. But a baster injector is a very specific thing that you can usually buy in any grocery store this time of the year so that you can just bring out the flavor of your turkey by giving it a little extra juice while it roasts. And a gravy. Now, I have to admit, this does not look like my mom's gravy. My mom's gravy is really dark brown. She loves to use Kitchen Bouquet. I have no idea what is in that. How lovely to use ingredients that you know and trust when you're making gravy to put on this beautiful meal that you've prepared for your family. And it uses the einkorn flour. So those who maybe don't tolerate gluten very well, but still eat it occasionally, will be able to enjoy your gravy. And of course, pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie! What's Thanksgiving without pumpkin pie? I actually do make my own pumpkin pie, and it's like the one time of year that I make a pie. If it weren't for the holidays, my family would never get these treats. I personally make a paleo pumpkin pie, so it uses almond meal in the crust, but I still, for my pumpkin filling, the pie filling, I use my vitality oils, and I love bringing that to the table. It just feels so very special to use our oils and give our loved ones that little bit of extra love in the food that we serve them. So the holidays are all about some treats. So if we can make them a little healthier, we're doing our family a little bit of favor. I encourage you, whenever possible, use organic ingredients so that you're not giving GMOs to your family. A little bit of sugar at the holidays. Use your Digize, use your other vitality oils that are supporting your immune system if you're going to be adding a little extra sugar. But here's a really tasty treat. Nothing goes with chocolate like peppermint vitality essential oil. I have a favorite recipe. So if you're wondering where to find recipes, yes, the Young Living Cookbook. And don't forget the blog. The Young Living blog has just got tons and tons of recipes. You may have seen all those fun videos, and I've got a couple of them here for you. You may have seen those on the the Young Living Facebook page. But when you actually click through to the blog, the whole recipe is written out there for you, so you can grab it really easily. But I have a favorite recipe actually from Martha Stewart, and it's over 10 years old because I found it the very first year I started using essential oils, and it's for peppermint bark. And it's just melted white chocolate. It uses, I can't remember exactly how much white chocolate, because I know it uses 12 candy canes, and peppermint essential oil. The recipe actually called for peppermint essential oil. And now when you Google, you can just pick a favorite recipe, Google it with essential oils, and I'm sure you're going to find one with essential oils in it. A variety with essential oil. Oh my gosh, guys, I keep sharing this recipe because I've been going crazy with this spice pumpkin creamer. I actually have modified this recipe a little bit. I love to make mine with coconut milk, and I use cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg vitality essential oils because that's just my favorite combo. And I actually use 3 drops of those oils, 3 drops of each in my pumpkin creamer, and it just makes me so happy. It's a wonderful way to start my day. But what a wonderful way to start that holiday breakfast the next day with the whole family. And here's a recipe for cinnamon rolls. If you're feeling creative and you want to get out there and do some baking with yeast, here you go. It's a beautiful recipe. And again, it uses cinnamon bark, vitality oil, and orange vitality oil for the glaze. And of course, you want to have something delicious going in your diffuser during the holidays as well. When we're talking about tasting yummy treats, here are some diffuser blends that sound like yummy treats: spice cider, snickerdoodle, pumpkin pie. So when you don't have the pie baking in the oven, you can have that lovely aroma wafting in your house by using your diffuser. And have you guys seen this? The Club Red at Home set. This would be awesome for a New Year's Eve party, introducing your friends to our amazing Ningxia Red, Zing, and Nitro products and the Vitality Oil. So I have a little video here I gotta play this for you guys.
Hi, it's Justin, your favorite Club Red bartender, and I'm going to show you how to make a bird bomb. To make a bird bomb, you'll need Ningxia Red, Ningxia Zing, citrus fresh, lime, tangerine, lemon, lavender, grapefruit, frankincense, orange, red shot, and Ningxia Nitro. Let's add some Ningxia Nitro and our vitality oils. Citrus fresh. Now add as many drops as you would like. Lime, tangerine, next is lemon, lavender, grapefruit, frankincense, orange, and red shot. And now let's top off the shot glass with Ningxia Red. Now it's time for our Zing. And drop your sidecar of Ningxia Nitro and oils in your Zing. And that is a bird bomb.
Oh, that is just crazy awesome looking. So when you go to convention, you can go to the Club Red and ask for a bird bomb and have one of those amazing drinks. So just to give you a little heads up on a couple things that are coming up, we will have our giveaway tomorrow on our Facebook page. It's going to be a little earlier than usual. We'll be live at 11:30 Central Time. So if you want to enter our raffle, go out to the Facebook event for Scentsational Holiday Cooking and just enter your comment on yesterday's post. We're having a lot of fun with that. And our next online get-together is Ring in the Holidays on Tuesday, December 5th. And that's going to be all about great gift ideas for everyone on your list. We'll have some simple make and take ideas and maybe a couple more from the holiday catalog. Oh, by the way, if you are ordering from Young Living and you want things in the house before Christmas, place your order by December 15th. That's the only way that they will guarantee that you'll have things in time for the holidays. So let me go ahead and stop sharing that. So what questions are you inspired to use oils in your cooking now? Yay! Stacey, what are you going to try first?
I have a pumpkin pie recipe or a pumpkin bar recipe that I'm famous for. And I want to swap out the flour and the sugar.
Mhm.
I did order the flour on my e-order this month and the agave
Uh-huh.
sugar.
Yep.
I'm not sure how that's going to work.
So it's going to change the moisture because agave is a liquid sugar. You've probably been using a powder, right?
Yes.
A cane sugar or something like that. So it might change the consistency. I would suggest going out online and typing in pumpkin bars with agave. See if you can find a recipe and get an idea of how to substitute.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think that might be a way to give you an idea of how of your ratio of dry to liquid.
Okay. I'll do that.
Are you going to try using like nutmeg vitality essential oil in there?
My pumpkin bars have cinnamon, or is it cinnamon? Yeah, nutmeg, I think clove, pumpkin pie spice.
So that is pumpkin pie spice. Pumpkin pie spice also has mace in it, I think, which is the outside of the nutmeg. So that,
So
you
I
know,
could
that's
swap
when you,
out,
pardon me?
so I could swap out the pumpkin pie spice for nutmeg instead.
Well, pumpkin pie spice is cinnamon. I think it's cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, and mace. You might just want to look it up. Again, that's another one that you can Google, and it'll tell you what's traditionally in pumpkin pie spice.
Okay.
And yeah, yeah. You know, I swap out all of those in my baked goods. The only time I don't swap out is like if I'm making something that has a streusel on top. That's when you really do need dry cinnamon because it gives it that texture. But in the baked good itself, I always swap out the spices with our vitality oils.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for you.
I am, I'm excited. Healthier, hopefully.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we know what our oils do in the body, right? So
Right.
giving everybody a little boost of yum and wellness there. I don't know if Heather or Liz I don't know if you guys are available to unmute yourselves if you have anything that you'd like to share or how you've used vitality oils already, maybe. Hey, Liz, nice to see you.
Hi there. I missed the first part. What I saw, I have some great ideas, so I'm looking forward. I want to actually try the cinnamon rolls. I can't wait to try that one.
Ooh.
That would be good.
I'm not much of a baker with actual yeast. I don't have much success. So if you give those a try, let me know how they go.
I will, definitely.
Nice.
Other than that, I've only used a few things as far as like peppermint brownies and a few other more like drinks rather than like an actual food.
Okay, good. Well, I hope you give these guys a try. I have to make this whole list, and I list out everything we're having, and then I figure out what time it goes in the oven, and then I back up from when we want to eat dinner. Is anybody else that? Oh, thank you, Liz. Thank you. Heather says, I'm going to tell. Oh, okay. Oils in your water, teas, and hot chocolate. Oh, yum. Well, enjoy your soak there, Heather. I hope you got some oils in that water with you. Yeah. So, well, guys, did anyone have any questions before we ring off about cooking with oils?
Is this going to be available for us to look at later then, since I missed the first part?
Yes, I did record
Excellent.
it. I did
Thank
record
you.
it. So I'll post that as soon as it's done processing. We'll get it posted for you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hopefully you'll have some great ideas for brightening up your holidays and your cooking just year-round. And I want to thank you all so much for joining me. I wish you and your families a very happy, happy Thanksgiving and much joy to you all this holiday season. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.